few days ago, we got a trailer for Season 2 of Black Ops Cold War. In that trailer, they advertised a number of new things that we're gonna get with the release of Season 2. We got some new content coming for multiplayer, but nobody really cared about that. The highlight of the whole thing was the new game mode in Zombies called Outbreak. I think because we've never really had something like this in Zombies before, they had a little bit of a tough time describing what it is, and all the YouTubers and the rest of the community just doesn't seem to know how to describe what this new game mode is. And while it's hilarious to see them struggle with that, I can sympathize with them because I don't really know how to describe it either. It's a large-scale Zombies experience revolving around objectives and loot, so most people just decided to call it a Zombies Battle Royale, which is not really the case. But because they call it a large-scale Zombies experience, you automatically picture yourself in the Warzone map riding vehicles and killing zombies. And if that is actually the case, if we are gonna play in a huge map, completing objectives, driving around in different vehicles and going through boss rounds and things like that, then this is a really big deal. First of all, I gotta say, this game mode just came out of nowhere. I don't think anybody was expecting new Zombies content anytime soon, because it feels like we just got Firebase Z. We just got an entirely new map. And if you compare the timeline to a traditional DLC lifecycle in Zombies, it just doesn't seem normal. We usually get a map and we don't expect to get anything else for a couple of months. And this whole thing just came as a bit of a shock to everyone. And us Zombies players were not really used to getting this kind of treatment, which is kind of sad. We've been neglected for so long. We've been on the sidelines for so long that when they say they're gonna give us new content a few weeks after the release of a new map, we just feel spoiled. And it's almost like it's too good to be true. But if this Outbreak game mode is what they say it is, then this is the biggest update that we've ever gotten in Zombies. The only thing that might come close is Zombies Chronicles. But the difference is Zombies Chronicles wasn't free. This is, which is a big step forward not only for Zombies, but for Activision as well. Not only are we getting Outbreak for free, but we're also getting a new field upgrade, a new ammo mod, a new support item, new weapon skills for launchers and specials, and we're getting 2 additional skill tiers for everything we have in the game, which I am more excited about than anything else in this update. The new field upgrade is called the Frenzied Guard. When you activate it, the zombies are only going to target you, so it's kind of like the Now You See Me Gobblegum in Black Ops 3. And while it's active, if you get attacked, you will only lose armor. That's what the base field upgrade does, but you can upgrade it further, and based on what they said, it seems like the first tier is going to repair your armor upon activation, the second tier is going to increase its duration to 15 seconds, and the third tier is going to slow all normal enemies to walk speed, which is the same thing as the Undead Man walking Gobblegum in Black Ops 3. I cannot wait to see how this field upgrade is going to work. And when I read the description based on how they described it, it's going to be really overpowered, and I am all for it. They didn't say what the 4th and the 5th tier are gonna do. They also didn't say how long the base field upgrade lasts. I'm assuming it's somewhere between 8 to 12 seconds. And one more thing I'm curious about is, since you only take armor damage when you activate it, does that mean when your armor breaks and you run out of armor that you take real damage? Or you're gonna be pretty much invincible the whole time it's activated? Because if that's the case, then this field upgrade is gonna be really powerful. It sounds really interesting on paper. It seems like it's more designed to accommodate co-op, but I think it's still going to be really good for solo players as well, because you only take armor damage and you slow down all the zombies, which is going to be really big for both high rounders and speedrunners. Next, we have the new ammo mod called the Shatter Blast. Upon activation, your bullets are going to deal explosive damage. So basically, when you have this ammo mod, your bullets occasionally turn into explosive bullets, and it's essentially designed to destroy the armor on the heavy zombies. For the first tier upgrade, the explosive bullets can do additional damage to nearby enemies. For tier 2, they can knock down normal enemies, and for tier 3, the size of the explosion is doubled. I've always found the ammo mod system to be one of the more interesting gameplay mechanics in Zombies, so I'm very curious as to how this ammo mod is gonna work. And I have some questions. For example, what's the cooldown time? And do the explosive bullets deal splash damage to the player as well? Because if that's the case, I don't think anybody's gonna use it unless we also get PhD Flopper. How powerful are the explosions, and how good are they gonna be against the heavy zombies? Because the heavy zombies are the only enemy types in the game that I find annoying and pointless. And if this ammo mod is really good against them, then that goes a long way in making the heavy zombies a much less annoying part of the gameplay. They said that the explosive bullets destroy their armor, and if that's the case, then this ammo mod is gonna be one of my favorites. Next, we have the Death Machine, which is going to return as a support item. They didn't say anything about the Death Machine, like how much it's gonna cost or how long it's gonna last for, so we'll just have to wait and see how this one's gonna turn out. But the addition of another support item is definitely a good thing. And last but not the least, we're gonna get tier 4 and tier 5 upgrades for everything, which is a really big change. But they're not gonna be unlocked with regular raw Ethereum crystals. We're gonna get two new types of Ethereum crystals called Refined and Flawless, which are gonna be more difficult to obtain. You're either gonna have to do high rounds, or you can complete objectives in Outbreak to earn them. They didn't give us an example of what the new tier upgrades are gonna look like. They just said it's important enough that it's worth its own explanation, which is gonna come later. But for now, we just know that we're probably gonna have to grind for these. They're not gonna be as easy to unlock, which kind of makes me happy, because before the game was released, I imagined the game would finally have a progression system that would incentivize the zombies players to grind, to work towards something. But the only thing we have to grind for right now in zombies are the camos, and that's not a real progression system. A good progression system is one that gives you a goal to achieve. It's important for that goal to be far away from you so that when you finally reach it, it feels like a real accomplishment. But it also shouldn't be far enough that it seems impossible to reach. We got a small, tiny hint of a progression system in the beginning of the game's life cycle. We would play the game, we would earn Ethereum crystals, and use them to unlock different upgrade tiers for everything we had. The problem is that within 1 week of the game's release, everybody had unlocked pretty much everything in the game. It wasn't much of a grind. I remember some people complaining about the earning rate of Ethereum crystals being too slow, and the whole time I was thinking, no, it's not. The rate is ridiculously fast. Don't complain about that. You're gonna have nothing to work towards after this. This is all the progression that there is in this game. And sure enough, after about 1 week, most people had already reached the end of the line, and there was really not much else to work for. But now with these new Ethereum crystals, hopefully the game is gonna have more of a solid progression system. One thing that this game does really well is the distribution of new content. Every time we get something new in the game, it's going to be in every map and every game mode, which keeps the old maps fresh and stops the game from becoming stale. For example, when you play Die Maschine, you have a certain way of playing that map. You have your own way of setting up, and you have your own methods for surviving in the higher rounds, because you've been playing it for a long time now, and you're used to doing things a certain way. And then with the release of Firebase Z, we get Tombstone, which is going to be present in Die Maschine as well. So now when you play Die Maschine, you have to integrate Tombstone into your gameplay loop, which is going to change the way you play that map, which in turn gives you kind of a newer experience. Now, it might not feel like that big of a change with a perk like Tombstone, but we're getting a new field upgrade, and field upgrades in this game are so important. They have such an impact in determining how you play the game. Just look at all the high round strategies. Almost all of them revolve around Ring of Fire, and look at all the Easter egg speedruns. Every other speedrunning strategy revolves around Aether Shroud. And now we're gonna get a new field upgrade, which is going to open up so many new avenues and new possibilities for different strategies when it comes to high rounds and speedruns. And it's gonna happen in every map and in every game mode. Same goes for the new ammo mod. Even the new support items are gonna change up the gameplay in one way or another. Every time they add something new to the game, even if it's something small, it's a good thing. I know Black Ops 4 did that as well with the perks, which did help to keep the entire experience a little more fresh, but it didn't have as big of an impact because the perks were kind of underwhelming. But now Cold War Zombies is actually doing it the right way. I usually approach every new release, whether it's a game or a DLC, with a certain level of cynicism and maybe a little pessimism. I always try to keep my expectations as low as possible because there have been way too many times when I've been let down and disappointed by a new release. And I'm saying this with as low of expectations as I can possibly have towards this update, that all of this looks really good. It's a lot of content and it's all free, and I can't really say anything bad about that. I really can't. Which goes to show you that we might have a good season of zombies content ahead of us. I still have my doubts. I really hope that the Outbreak mode is not a forced co-op experience. I hope we can play it on solo as well, although I doubt that'll be the case. I hope it's not one of those co-op experiences where you jump into a lobby, you get halfway through the mission, somebody disconnects and you get a host migration and then that fails, and then the game ends and all of your progress is lost. I just want it to be a smooth experience. If it is objective based, the missions have to be short enough and they have to be easy enough so that the casual players can follow. But they also have to be challenging enough and long enough to be stimulating to the more seasoned players. And that's a very difficult balance to strike, and I really hope they get it right, because if they do, this game mode can change everything. It can be big enough and popular enough that it overshadows the traditional zombies game mode, and I would love nothing more for that to be the case. That is gonna do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments section down below what you think of all the new zombies content that we're gonna get in Season 2. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.